Hello, 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 and welcome to Bitches with Beards. And on today's episode, I asked a question. If Disney almost got cancelled after I tattooed Yoda on my skin, then who should be the next person I get inked?
And I'm just going to say, sometimes life is a mystery. Everyone must stand alone. I hear you call my name, and it feels like home.
We're the podcast that attempts to break down culture with all the elegance of two coastal grandmas.
But in truth, we're just a couple of bitches with beards.
I'm Max.
And I'm Daniel.
And we're live from the Diane Keating podcast studio in Haberdashery.
We both have opinions, so let's get this party started.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, that was a nice one.
Well, whenever you do glass to ceramic, it will eventually, make a sound.
Yes. How are you?
It's been a
Off week.
Off week. It has been a very much an off week in that everything could happen, nothing could happen at work because the fiscal year is winding down. We could go to a shutdown situation.
When's that scheduled to happen?
Next Wednesday, if it does happen. But it's also, oh my gosh, there's this, legal agreement that we need to renegotiate. And there's this loan agreement that we need to do. And there's this thing that we need to do. And there's this document you need to write. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, I do need to write it. But I could also wait until after the fiscal year starts, which is what I'm going to do.
So it could happen a week today.
Yes.
Is it more than likely?
Probably for a day or two. We're thinking right now.
So probably,
who knows?
My parents should do Smithsonian stuff.
Yes.
Start of the week.
Yes, they should do it Monday, Tuesday for sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we are recording on a Wednesday. Appreciate it, Daniel. I know it's also late because I had to get a haircut, and then a haircut was running late.
My gosh. I mean, thank goodness I'm going in late tomorrow to the office. I looked at my boss and I'm like, I literally have 2 meetings and they were my direct reports. I'm like, stuff can wait. It's not pressing. I'm like, I'm coming in at 8 o'clock.
Yeah. Good for you.
And he's like, do it. I'm like, I am.
Yeah.
I can't be motivated. I can't be bothered with going to work, Max. Because I know I'm going to sit there for like 6 hours and be like, what can I research that's not actual stuff?
But no, we're doing a Wednesday record, which is interesting.
Yes.
I mean, there's actually, Joe, what there's stuff that's come out this week that we can chat about a lot.
We're not scraping the bottom of the barrel.
No, but it's been a bit dry. The news has been very weird, and I mean, we'll mention it, but obviously I've got a small thing in the news, but obviously if Kimmel and everything, and the trouble is that, when you record Wednesday, which is the day of our release anyway, is that you end up in a situation of how old is the news going to be by next Wednesday?
Right.
And
pretty old.
I don't know about you, but sometimes you find a really great news story and you're like, oh, that's going to be really excellent. And then you realize that to discuss it without conclusion is not a good thing. It's always good to get conclusion, but so, we're going to announce so-and-so. Well, actually, we can't just announce the announcement because the thing's going to happen before we record it as well.
Yeah.
But no, so apart from that, I mean, I saw you. We didn't see each other over the weekend.
No, we didn't.
But did you ever go do it weekend everything?
It was a very relaxed weekend for reasons I'm not going to get into. But it was very calm.
Yeah.
It was very mellow. It was a little less productive than what I wanted it to be. It was far more relaxed, which might be just what the doctor ordered. We're going to put it that way.
Yes.
So, all in all, it was good. How about you? How was your weekend?
Yeah, well, the hubs had to work, unfortunately, and my parents are coming. Will be tomorrow. They'll be here by the time this goes out. So I spent the weekend really. We did get out. We got out on Saturday, but yeah, I wanted to get the office done. We've been wanting to put. The office has always been a bit of a weird room for us because it's my office, it's the spare bedroom, and it's the spare space. And the hub's always said when we moved in, like he has specific ideas for the house, which I've been involved in. I've never not been involved in, but he always said if he could have like a little bit more creativity, that he'd happy for me to have the office. But the office, we've always sort of been at war a little bit with how far you can go with a room that essentially has to be ready for guests.
Yeah.
And also the hubs it can occasionally be a bit more like, well, this has to be moved, that has to be moved. And I'm like, I've never known a room get completely reorganized every time a guest arrives, but that's just me.
Right. I'm
Yeah.
a bit like you. I'm like, as long as it's clean, it's fine. We don't have to like change it up.
So eventually, like, we had a bookshelf, and that just got cluttered. Have you looked in it yet?
No, I haven't looked in there at all.
And then, so what we did is actually, I said to him eventually, we need to get shelves, because I had some Star Wars models, and I got some action figures and stuff, and we've put shelves along the ceiling.
Yeah.
And they look really good. And then we've put some photos. I readjusted all the pictures are up because they were getting a bit wonky, and we had some leaks and some fell down, and they've been put back up a bit higgledy-piggledy, and it's all that. And also I got some comic books framed. So it's looking really good, and it's all, I would say, above the floor in a way. So it means that people can come in, we can get the bed out, and nothing aside from the desk, which is a bit of a pain at the hubs that would like to be cleared so people have room. For the most part, it's ready to its guests. So I'm very happy. Spent the weekend doing that. I want to do some writing. It just kind of was one of those where I got a lot done and then not a lot. And then I'd message you and go, well, I didn't really get a lot done. But you're so quick to ask me what I got done. And then I'd list it. And I just, because I didn't get to a conclusion with stuff, doesn't mean that. But I did read in bed Saturday morning.
Which
Sunday
is
morning,
wonderful.
because
we love that pleasure.
I feel so bad when the hubs has to work. He hates it because obviously it's work weekend. It's usually tough for work, and he's not really a morning person.
Right.
Whereas the minute his alarm goes off, I'm like downstairs, put coffee on, sit up in bed, read, wait for him to wake up, coffee up, and it's totally my element. I love a good excuse to get up early.
You're a morning bird.
Yeah, I know, and I only really sleep late because I need sleep. And it sounds so stupid, but if I didn't need sleep,
Yeah. Now I get it.
I would go out. But we did go out Saturday night, but I want to explain because that's going to come up into a bit later.
Okay.
You know, I said I posed a question for our culture of the...
Oh, yes. Sorry. It's all coming back to me. I was like, what do you mean we're talking about
that,
later?
baking, which we'll go, I think, go into. So
Yes,
shall we go
we
take a
should-
wander around Ina's garden?
We should go take a wander around Ina's garden.
Give it
So
a shake.
Yeah, oh yes, you definitely need to give it a shake. So this evening we're having a Gold Thread Rose Glow Renew and Restore with
I
antioxidants.
feel I need.
Non-spawn. But this is what's been helping me recently. Like,
It's a very different smell.
yeah, it's very anti-inflammatory. Like, it's a good, healthy drink with no sugar, high fiber. It should,
Oh, I like that.
it should help your...
Oh, there's some spice.
yeah, it should help your colon. They have one with turmeric, which is phenomenal, and then they have one with ginger. The ginger one is spicy, but it's nice and smooth.
In fact, yeah, you definitely can taste the ginger in it, but it's just nice.
Yeah, it's my alternative to having a sugared iced tea in the mornings.
Yes, you do like that, don't you, occasionally?
I do occasionally like it in the mornings.
Yeah, I'm more of a standard tea, though. I did go through all our apple tea, so now I'm back on the highly caffeinated, and that's not good.
Which is why I brought my decaffeinated tea if we had tea tonight.
But I did my first batch of sourdough.
Yay!
So we've got some to try. It is like only a couple of days old, so that my only vibe is the issue that I found was that you shape it into you fold settle for 2 hours, and you put it outside to rise, and it did, and then they say reshape, and it got stuck to the bowl, and so I should have really re-greased the bowl every time I folded it.
Lessons learned.
And yeah, because I think it lost some air then, and then not even actually reshaped it, just kind of just put it straight into the fridge. So please do try a bit and see what it tastes like.
So we're tasting Pierre. Oh, it's a very dense bread.
It is. That's where I think the air went. But
I wish I had some good soup to go with it. Just dunk it in the soup. Like a nice...
the flavour's lovely.
Very good.
It just needs. It's just trying to. It's that.
And here's the thing. You baked this on Sunday.
Yeah.
Like, it's not stale by any means, Max. Like, good for you. Like, it is still moist. I'm not breaking a tooth on top of it, so thank you. Like, this is divine.
I'm happy.
You should be.
And also we have
You need to make soup to go with this, is all I'm going to say.
Cookies.
Oh, I am going to actually have a cookie. I told you I wouldn't, but I am.
I had too many today, so this is the same batch as before-ish.
Oh, okay.
But at the same time, I did more flour.
Oh, yeah. Loving those cookies. Oh, so good.
And I did soy sauce.
You added soy sauce to it.
You told me to.
I did tell you to, because I sent you the an Instagram with it.
Yeah.
I don't know that I taste the soy sauce.
No, but it's quite... We've been doing a... Yeah, no, I was quite pleased. They're getting very... I don't know if it needs a little bit. So we baked them for 13 minutes, not 11, because the last ones came out very underdone.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an ongoing process. I do actually like the slightly cakier texture to them.
Mm-hmm.
I think the flat ones can be a bit... There's like it's slightly more substantial, like you have it and you're done. But the sourdough is definitely... It's definitely a process. I mean, that's not to say bread isn't a process in general. Bread is actually quite a... It's not an easy thing to do, but it's one of those that I know that once you've got it, because it does take time, but it actually is really delicious. But the biggest thing of sourdough is it's also like you are pouring the starters of dough, which you've got to mix in with another dough. So there's more of that integration. I kind of hadn't done it, and I was like looking at it kind of blind, which is a bit. It's interesting to do that. So it definitely was a learning curve, but did it in a Dutch oven. It came out really nice.
Yeah.
So Pierre's still bubbling away.
I was going to say, is Pierre still bubbling?
Yeah, because I'm going to do another thing. My parents always have like bread. They always like toast in the morning, so I'll do them. I'll give it another go, probably like tomorrow night.
That'll be good.
With that, Daniel, shall we move on to the news?
Yes, this is the portion of the podcast where we talk about things that are gay adjacent, or just a little bit camp as I eat the last little bit of that sourdough.
Well, if all the back and forth, Jimmy Kimmel's back on Disney, but he's not back everywhere.
No, not back in the DC area.
No, we tried to have a look last night and it was not on. The actual newscaster that was on, didn't seem that happy to be on, I have to say. You could tell he was kind of vamping. I'm like, I shouldn't be really having to do this tonight.
He's pissed that he's having to entertain. There was not enough money in my contract for this.
Yeah, we shall see what's going to happen with Kimmel moving forwards. Obviously, it's very dangerous territory they're on. Couple of
anyone's in dangerous territory right now. Let's be honest.
But the fact that Ted Cruz has turned around and said they got to be careful. Joe Rogan's turned around and said they got to be careful.
Yeah, I mean that's saying something right there.
Yeah. So, interestingly, is Joe Rogan considered a conservative podcast? Or right-leaning podcast?
I would say right-leaning.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say conservative. I would say
he
right-leaning.
wouldn't class it, would he?
I think it's more libertarian.
Yeah, but he would never he would never turn around and say he's conservative.
No.
Well, shall we in general move on with this general news of that we didn't really have a lot of news?
Yeah.
But
yeah, because mine were okay, but yeah.
Talking of Disney, God, my head's a little bit everywhere today. Talking of Disney, we did get the release of the Mandalorian Grogu trailer. It looks excellent. It looks like it's going to be definitely a strong extension of the TV series. I'm show it to the hubs. It looks like it's got a lot of action. It looks like they're bringing the factors together. You've obviously got the Empire that's after him and the different sections that want Grogu and the protection for the Mandalorians. It's going to be curious to see how they bring it to a conclusion without it feeling like we knew where it's going, because obviously the Rey trilogy comes afterwards. Yeah. So we shall see.
Yeah.
But I am in general very much looking forward to this movie. And let's keep going. God, not isn't a movie, but is an opera. I did notice, and this is not really news, but the Metropolitan Opera have done a version of Cavalry, the Amazing Adventures of Cavell and Clay, which is a phenomenal book. It's meant to be the development of Superman, but it's not. It's actually another superhero, but it's a very good queer book. I highly recommend it. But as an opera, I'm quite fascinated. So
it's very interesting doing it as an opera. Then,
yeah, I'm generally. It's not really new. It's not really. The news for me is that they're continuing to adapt it. They've tried to do it. I can't remember the writer, but he went on to do a lot with Picard, the series. He was heavily involved in the development of that. It's a really great book. It said it's about these two immigrant writers who develop. It's based on the Superman and the immigrant journey, but there is queer undertones in it. I really loved the book. My friend Jen got it for me. I'd never heard of it, and it was the book at the time to kind of geek. So the fact it's an opera is interesting.
Yeah,
I am curious to see whether or not they are going to ever go forward and do the movie or the TV series, the miniseries they said. But that would be really great. Well, it would be a surprise if that pops up. Or also as a pop-up is there's going to be a festive market at Buckingham Palace.
I did see that.
Yes, it's going to be London's glitziest shopping experience. The Royal Collection has announced plans to transform a corner of the iconic palace come mid-November.
Yes, and it's the first time that they've done this.
It is. So, I mean, I'm glad they're really kind of embracing what the masses want. It'll make a shit ton of money for the tourists alone. So,
I mean, if I was in London, I'd be going to it.
Definitely would. You could buy a cheeky little trinket.
Trickiest of ones.
Right, well, the only other news today really was that the Wicked trailer is released, but we can wait for culture for that one.
Yes, we can. Absolutely.
So that leads me to say, Daniel, what was news for you?
So news for me is everything that is old is now new again. So it was announced that Madonna is back with Warner Records. She is also set to release her first album since 2019, and it will be a dance album and a follow-up to 2005 Confessions on a Dance Floor. Warner Records was the record label that she started she was with for her first 25 years of her career. And just so everyone remembers, Confessions on a Dance Floor included Hung Up and Get Together, among other titles. So, yay if you like that album.
It is a good album.
It's might be one of my favorite ones.
It's the last one. Hung Up gets a lot of shit because it samples Gimme Gimme Gimme.
Right.
It's such a good song. Mm-hmm. It's such a fucking good song, and that album is really good. And then, because the other one, Sticking Sweet was the next one after the album, and it never lived up to it.
No.
And I think,
but there was a different DNA of the album.
Madonna's so talented, and she's meant to be this sort of artist that you know is fine-tooth combs all her work and produces these albums, and just nothing lived up to her talent. And I think the song was it Bitch I'm Madonna. I'm like, come on now, is this what we're doing?
It was a cheap song.
Yeah,
catchy but cheap.
So I'm really hoping she's, I don't know, I want to listen to an album that I feel she's taken ownership of, and it's her.
Yeah, I'm hoping we're gonna get that. Anyways, it's set for release sometime in 2026. So
perfect.
Soon. All right, congratulations are in order for Monet Exchange. It was announced that they are engaged to their longtime partner Andy Short. Andy Short is a personal trainer. They've been together for several years. I think the 37-year-old was formerly on RuPaul's Drag Race and is currently on the upcoming season of Traitors. So, well wishes to Monet on that one.
Yay.
And Monet's sister, Bob the Drag Queen, was also in news. So, Bob the Drag Queen will be making their Broadway debut in Moulin Rouge in the role of Harold Ziegler, starting January 27th, 2026 for an 8-week run. They're following in the footsteps of Wayne Brady and Robert Perkoff, who are currently in the role. Let's see. And the link back to this is that Bob the Drag Queen, in case you don't know, RuPaul's Drag Race winner, master of ceremonies for Madonna for her world tour, and author.
Yes. Boy George did the part in London.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, I could see that.
Yeah, I think he extended a couple of times.
Yeah. I don't know that Bob is going to extend it because I think it is a locked-in 8-week because I think they've already got the next person lined up after that.
Yeah, I think boy kept having he had a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah. And this isn't really news, but it came up on my feeds, and it just made me so happy. So, two of my icons were at London Fashion Week at the barber show.
I saw
Joanna Lumley, Jennifer Saunders. They essentially had an AbFab reunion and looked absolutely fabulous. Stunning. I loved the coat that Jennifer Saunders was in.
Yeah, they look
lovely
good.
yellow, like fantastic.
I'm so glad because Jennifer Saunders had cancer a few years back, and she looks like she's really recovered.
Yes.
It is about the same time that Victoria Wood, who's another great British comedian, she sadly passed away, and that was such a blow to the comedy scene. You know, and then you look at someone now like James Van Der Beek, who just looks so skinny in that photo.
Yeah, emaciated.
Yeah, but I think he said he's battling it. It's just is.
Yeah.
Well, that Daniel, should we take a quick break and collect our heads?
We should.
Wow, that was a really long break, Daniel.
So long.
So long. Oh, it must have caught all this culture in that cheeky 2 seconds.
Something like
Sorry,
that.
everyone. Our heads are a little bit. It's a Wednesday. We're all kind of weird weather today.
Very weird weather. And the sun is setting early. What is up with that?
I know. It's fucking everyone's circadians.
Yes, and cicadas too.
But anyway, so the shorter days, Daniel, what have you managed to cram into them with culture?
Well, because it's only been 5 days since we recorded last, if that. Food of the week was my meal that I fixed on Monday night. We're even going to call out the nights for this one. It was red quinoa, dolma or Greek wrapped leaves, cucumber and tomato salad, fresh lentils. Oh, it was so good. It was divine. It was wonderful. And then for breakfast this week, this is where we're at, listeners. We're scraping the bottom of the barrel. The Purely Elizabeth brand of oatmeal. Spot on perfection if you need to have something that you just add water, let it sit for 4 minutes. Everything you need. Drink of the week has been hibiscus tea. I've been having that after my oatmeal. I have my Earl Grey and then I switched to my hibiscus tea. But it's been just nice and hitting the spot, just where it needs to be. Surprisingly, this has been a very music-heavy week for me. So, revisiting one song, Gran Torino by Jamie Cullum. Very good. New songs, Nobody's Son by Sabrina Carpenter, Man I Need by Olivia Dean, and Secrets by Miley Cyrus. You should look into that one because it plays into my album of the week, which is the re-release Buckingham and Nicks album. So prior to Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham joining Fleetwood Mac, they released Buckingham Nicks, and you were only able to get this on record. And it was never been re-released until this past week. It is actually really good. Highly recommend it. Television for the week. I watched Lindley Season 1, Episodes 2 and 3. Homework assignment for you, Max, is to watch Episode 2 because it is what you don't do in a mystery. That is what I'm going to say. And my other television series that I am recommending, I started this on Prime this past weekend, The Heartacres. If you want something that's a period drama that's a little bit feel-good, go to The Heartacres.
What one's that about?
They work in the wharfs in Yorkshire in the 1800s.
I think I've seen the poster for that one.
Yes, I think there's only 5 episodes. Anyways, and they essentially start investing what they have left over because they leave the wharfs and they do a fish cooking business, and their leftover revenue they are investing, and then suddenly one of their investments pays out really big. So
is it good?
Yeah, it's good. It's not based on a story, any character like that. So it's a little bit like, oh, where's the fall coming type story situation that I'm waiting for, but it hasn't happened yet, and it may not happen. Period. Yeah,
BritBox they do budget well. I mean, because I really like the one about the sisters,
Sister Boniface.
No,
Sisters. Outrageous.
Yeah, Outrageous. That was really good, but
but
the budget, you can tell like they know how to squeeze a penny with a lot of that.
Yeah, this one is sort of like that.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking at it and I'm like, architecturally, I'm like, the house isn't quite right. It's a little bit later than what you're saying. This is. I'm like, okay.
And it's interesting because they're not. I'm always curious about how they're shown in England, and actually, like Outrageous wasn't shown because you can get BritBox in England, but they try and put it on other channels and stuff. So, yeah, I hope these ones do well. Are you excited for the House of Guinness?
Yes, I am excited for the House of Guinness. Oh my gosh, cannot wait.
Yeah, I'm kind of ready for that one.
I'm like, I need this.
And I forgot there's a couple of actresses in that I'm really excited. Okay, I was looking for. I was like, oh, I'm really glad. I can't remember who's playing. It's going to bug me actually now. Who's going to?
I'm excited because one of the main characters was in the first seasons of Grantchester as the priest, and I'm like, yes, we need him.
It comes up straight away. Fuck off. You know when it comes up, do you want to like... Oh, James Norton's in it.
Yes, James Norton.
He's so sexy.
He is. He was so good in Grantchester.
Oh, Dervla Kerwin, who's an Irish actress who was in Ballycus Angel years back and all that. So she's really... I mean, she's Irish, so Dervla Kerwin. I was like, oh, I love her. So I'm really excited. So yeah, I'm really excited for this one.
Good. What about you? What was culture for you?
Cooking. We did our Western New York food again, which is very nice over at Sports Social. But I did do a vegetarian chili on Monday, which lasts us through the week, and we've got it tonight. But it's used chocolate powder again, the cocoa powder, and it really does thicken it, creates a bit more depth for flavour. So very happy about that. Let's have a look. When you're just looking at I looked at television. Jamie Oliver. No, that's John Oliver. We haven't watched John Oliver for a while, actually. He kind of got a bit too depressing sometimes. We checked up because he obviously was talking about Jimmy Kimmel, and actually it was nice to watch him again. We quite enjoyed that. Good. Music-wise, Spider-Man 2 After Dark came. I don't know, that soundtrack came up again. Bit of the Cranberries and a bit of the Decemberists, but it really was. I'm kind of just enjoying some good music at the moment.
I love me some Cranberries. Yeah, there's some. They really, and if you go beyond what's played on the usual suspects, it's actually really, really good.
Movies. I went to the cinema to go and see A Big Bold Beautiful Journey. It's a Margot Kidder, Colin Farrell. It's good. It's they both end up kind of getting a car with a sat-nav that guides them on a big, bold, beautiful journey and explores their past. It's very hard to describe without sounding kitschy cute. It is, because they kind of got, and it's like, turn left here. Now here's your next destination. There's a door, and it's like goes into they travel into their past and stuff. It could have been bolder, and I think that was what the reviews actually said. Is it's really, it's nicely done, but it could have been a little bit more. Taken a few more risks.
Fair.
But I did enjoy it. Movies, because the hubs was working, I actually did sit down and watch 3 new movies. I was going to watch The Second Star is Born, but it was asking me to rent it, and it was 3 hours long, and I'm like, I have other stuff to do today.
Bitch does not have time for that.
I will sit down. It was a bit, I need a wetter, darker morning for that.
You dare.
But I watched The Apartment with Shirley MacLaine and not Tony Curtis, the other one, not Jack Lemmon. God, I'm not. Who was also in Some Like It Hot?
Fonda.
No. Was it Jack Lemmon? Yeah, it was Jack Lemmon. I will. Yeah, I apologise to everyone. I'm not that well prepared. God, come on! I'm not that prepared today. I think it is Jack Lemmon. God, it is. No, yeah, Jack Lemmon is excellent. I really enjoyed it. About a guy that rents out his apartment. His bosses use his apartment to climb the corporate ladder. Very well done. Shirley MacLaine's excellent in it. Jack Lemmon is adorable. And it's what became Promises on Broadway. So Turkey Lurkey Time. So there was a scene in it. You can see where Turkey Lurkey Time fits.
Turkey Lurkey Time.
Right in. Next one was 7 Year Itch with Marilyn Monroe. I'd never seen that one. Again, excellent. The only thing is that scene isn't how it's advertised. You see her skirt go up around her ankles. You do not see the whole shot. I rewound it a couple of times. I was like, have they cut it? No, I checked afterwards. It really is not what you remember.
Yeah.
It's a very good film, though. and I was reading about it because I didn't realize both of them were plays. Is that actually in the play he sleeps with her, and in this he doesn't, and I'm glad they changed that. It had to kind of be very well, you have to root for them both.
Yeah.
The only trouble with 7 Year Itch is Marilyn is stunning, and she just doesn't fit into the world.
Yeah, I get that.
Like, just stunning, and her figure is gorgeous. She had a butt.
Oh yeah,
she was that. But that's the only thing. She's so beautiful in it that to be like this sort of woman that's casually living above him is. Yeah,
it doesn't make sense, but it's because she puts her underwear in the freezer at night.
It is, but I take it you haven't seen it for a couple of years.
It's been a little bit since I've seen it. Yeah,
they mention that there's 2 interior designers that live on the top floor, and I'm like, that must be gay. That must be them. Like
coding.
It was weird. I was wondering if we'd see them. And he goes,
you don't.
No, and he just goes, oh yeah, there's 2 interior designers that live on the top, share it on the top floor. I'm like, I think that's their way of writing in a gay couple without actually specifying. You don't have to see it or do that, and I thought it was quite clever.
Yeah.
And then my final one of the weekend was Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, which I really liked. Bit of a disappointing ending.
Fair.
And not in the conclusion of it is. You'll notice that a lot of movies. Because Mr. Smith was 1939. It's crazy how old it is. It's getting to 100 years. It's 85 years old.
Yeah.
Is that it just sort of ends? Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. But the other senator admits that obviously he's been setting up Mr. Smith, Senator Smith, but it gets to him and he passes out. Senator Smith passes out on the floor and the guy's like, no, it was been me. We've done it, blah, blah, blah. And it ends.
Yeah.
And it's so odd. And it is for the time because now there would be 5 years later or a breather to kind of then tighten the boat, like tighten it all. And that was really jarring, was that it didn't really stick the landing by modern senses. He's brilliant in it. He's absolutely Jimmy Stewart he's so, I've not seen him that young in something, and he's so earnest and so well done, and he's so like what I guess Ted Lasso is based on and all that, but it just ends and there's no what happened next, how did he go on and what happens. So it's very weird, but no, that was the point, was he just wanted to be proven right, and he did, and that for that audience was enough. But actually
for us it's not.
But no, all these films are great. It's really lovely, and I do actually really like the 1960s for filmmaking. I know that at that time the studio system was really in trouble. I mean, it was collapsing. It was making way for New Hollywood, which really came about with Easy Rider, and the start of the student filmmaker was really getting big, but. Where I think that you were getting some really amazing talent was Broadway, and a lot of these were based on plays at the time, and then obviously
that arc from Broadway to the stage was quite, you originate the role on Broadway, you were then in the film, like that was the typical shoot for that. And
I just and also I think plays make the most wonderful basis for a movie, because you do get that sense of conclusion. Everything's compact and told and refined, and the stories,
and you have that natural structure to that.
But I enjoyed them all. Mr. Smith was really well done, and you can see why it's a popular movie, and it is very well acted, very well delivered. They're not slow, but I do love, as I said, these, and then The Odd Couple was the same era as like The Apartment, and obviously 7 Year Itch, and there's a couple more I really want to see. But Yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed them.
We should talk notes about some stuff that you should see.
Yeah, it's my shame season, as I call it.
It's not a shame season. I view it as the an education season. It's the education of Max.
But no, it is good. And if there is movies, give a movie a go. It is hard. It is hard sometimes because I found out Miranda, one of my favourite TV shows, is not available anymore on BritBox. Mm-hmm. It's on YouTube. If I want to stream the Christmas special, we'll get through it. But I was looking for stuff to watch down here while I was doing stuff in the office. Schitt's Creek's on Amazon, so I've been blitzing through that. Really great. But it came up like the apartment leaving. It said, leaving Amazon in 11 days. Great. I was like, okay, I'm going to watch that. And it was like, okay. And it was actually a really good reason just to sort of kick myself and go,
all right, I have a reason to watch it.
And I'd heard of it. I completely forgot it was the Promises until I was watching a scene at a Christmas party and I went, oh, I think this is Turkey Lurkey. But it's a very dark film.
Oh, yeah.
It's about suicide and suicide attempts and the treatment of people. And there was a darkness to these movies, and we forget that they aren't.
They're not as sunny and rainbowy as we think they were.
Well, funny you should say sunny, rainbow, and dark.
I know.
Shall we move on to the culture?
We should move on to the culture of the week.
So, Daniel, what's the thing that's been in the feeds today?
Today, and just today, has been the fact that no good deed goes unpunished, and that Wicked Part 2 has been released. The final trailer has been released for Wicked. I've watched it twice.
Nice. It's very interesting what they're doing with it. Like, it feels so much... If you told me that Wicked would become the new Lord of the Rings...
I would have been like, you're full of it.
Yeah, I'm like, they're stretching it out.
But I'm like, no. I'm like, I might want more.
It'd be interesting to see if they did even consider doing anything more with it. But I've an odd feeling. I'm actually gonna get. I don't want to say spoiler. I keep saying spoiler alert, but it is interesting to see. I mean, the bit where you see Bok.
I was surprised that they showed that.
You can't recognize him. I think it's if you were watching it and you didn't know, you would be okay.
Right.
There's a different person there.
Yeah. I was surprised that there was a glimpse of Nessa.
And you can see what they've done.
And you can see what they did.
Which actually is not as drastic as I thought.
Right. I was like, okay, all right.
So in the book, she was in the book actually, it helps her, gives her balance. But in the series, in the movie, in the show, it helps her walk. And in this, she doesn't. She can fly. Which I was like, what are they going to do? And it never occurred to me that was the angle they were going to take. It's not drastic. It's not a drastic change. It just is saying that she can do something supernatural rather than like. And I can see what they've done. I can see, and I'm like, okay, that's really cool.
Which, to me, I'm going to say this: it makes a little bit more sense now why Morrible would morph a tornado if she was going after a second witch that could fly.
Yes,
think about that.
But also, it makes sense as to why they're so powerful.
Yes,
there's beyond that. So that's interesting. I'm wondering as well. Like you see the bit with the couch and the bubble is it's what for me I think is going to be the most interesting in it is that, and I cannot emphasize enough, if you really don't skip ahead 5 minutes until we have a chat about something else that happened, is that you obviously see the companions, but you see them you see the Lion and you see the Tin Man during March of the Witch Hunters, but you don't see the Scarecrow, do you?
No.
Right. So, but you don't. And for me, it's like, well, Bok is very angry.
Yes.
which is obvious, but you have to kind of be like, oh, that all makes sense. It all, you see it in the long run, but you don't see how he gets to the point where he is, frozen in the woods.
Yeah.
And so my vibe is, I'm really actually hoping, because you got to remember that by the time Dorothy lands, you're seeing a lot of it in the film. They're like, something's happened to one of the major characters at that point. By the time she lands, literally, yeah. So that's really interesting. So half the film is going to be, if they're going to do half the film about Dorothy's journey,
yeah.
And I don't want to see Dorothy.
No,
I don't need to see Dorothy, and they've said that.
Yeah, they've said that Dorothy's really going to be shown from far away and like from behind for the majority is what they've said initially.
But the way also that I think that you see there's a scene in the trailer where Elphaba goes, "Do you have it?" Oh, they're talking about having a plan. I think a majority of this film, or at least the second part of it, is going to be how you're going to expand on the plan. Yeah. And actually, I think characters are going to be involved in the plan. They're going to not say retcon, but write in how they're involved in this plan, because you never see how the Tin Man gets there. You never. It's presumed that the Scarecrow was left for dead, and that's why she finds him. But the Tin Man and the Lion went to get the witch.
Yeah.
Right, but when did that whole scene get the witch? Does that happen? When does that fall into the Wizard of Oz? Because they're not together at the start. They meet during it, and then later on, unless it's when Dorothy's sent out to get the broom. So it's going to be just very interesting to see
where it happens.
And it's not. I'm not trying to pick holes, but I think that what the movie's going to do is actually explain. It's going to be really clever, and I think it's going to actually be really satisfying to come out of it and go. It's going to make it clever. I think it's actually going to improve it. I think
I think so too. Yeah. I think it's going to be a nice little bubble wrapped package, so to speak, of everything that we need.
I think the end's still going to be fucking. I think it's going to be worse.
Yeah, I
think it's going to be
sobbing.
Disturbing. Are you cool to go on the Friday it comes out?
Yes, that's the 21st.
Yeah, I'm going to book 5 tickets. Me, you, and but I just want to check that night.
Yes, Max.
Because we're heading off for the marathon that weekend, so I've got to be.
Yes, Max. I'm free.
Yes. Good. But it's going to be definitely. I think the music, and I'm glad they've got these 2 new songs in there. I'm trusting them on this one. I think it's the first time. It's the first time they promoted new music, because usually it's either one new song for something or, in the case of 9, where they completely gut the soundtrack.
Did a rewrite.
I never understood why they ever adapted a show something and then completely cleared out half the songs. I'm like, if you don't know what to do with that music, don't do. Maybe this is not the show for you to adapt.
Maybe this is not the musical that needs to be on the film.
The Cinema Italiano is a phenomenal song, and Kate Hudson
nailed it.
Eats no crumbs.
Yeah.
She was nominated for the Oscar for that, wasn't she?
She was. Yeah, she was. Absolutely.
But no, Wicked. I just generally, and I love the Pink Train and that.
I love the Pink Train. I love the fact there was an interview that I read yesterday, I believe it was, where apparently Ariana Grande was like, "Oh yeah, we really leaned into one of the lines like from the original film."
Yeah. And
she said, "So we're playing up the follow the yellow brick road bit." Because, she's like, we're playing it off that Glinda is just, like, done with Dorothy at that point. As in, she can't be bothered.
Yeah.
Because everyone has been poking a hole in this of, like, oh, why couldn't Dorothy have taken the train to the Emerald City? And they're like, well, we're just saying you're just done with it and just follow the yellow brick road instead.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see how that one's played out.
And I'm thinking the fight between them is going to be a bit fiercer.
Oh, yes, like there was actual clashing of a broom and a wand, and I was like, I don't remember that from the productions I've seen on stage.
I'm excited.
Oh, I am too.
Well, before we end up, we're going to talk about it all before it's even set.
Right.
But one of the things I wanted to talk to you about this week was
You had a story.
We had a story, and I wanted to know your opinion. And you know, I'd say that. And the Hubs is about he's doing some painting in the background. I don't know if he wants to step in, he's welcome to,
but not required.
Not required. So we were out Saturday to meet some friends of the Hubs he knew for some politicking. They are from Caribbean islands.
Yes.
St. Martin.
Okay.
And that's all we'll say. Simon Tin. That's all we'll
Martin.
just say, just in case. But they were here, and I'd met one of them. We'll call her Shelley.
Shelley, the Barracuda.
Shelley the Barracuda. Before, and we went to trade, and I was like, and I was like looking forward to it. And we get to trade, and we're having a very nice time. And another couple of friends walk in. We shall call them George and Patrick.
George and Patrick. Okay, so
Now-
Shelley, George, and Patrick.
Now, we are chatting to Shelley and her friends, and we're having a nice time, and George and Patrick come over, and George decides to start chatting to the Hubs. And after introductions are made, and we go round, and he then starts to question the Hubs about the conversation.
No.
So, what's going on? What are we talking about?
No.
He then asks the Hubs how he's doing, and the Hubs is, no, I'm just in the middle of this conversation.
No.
And then he says, well, why don't you come over and like hang with us? And the Hubs like, no, I'm here to see friends.
Yeah.
At which point George sulks and says that we don't like him.
Was George drunk?
George was a little drunk.
Ah.
Now, the other thing is, though, I've been in the bars in DC before where we have bumped into people, and they have also, you know, you've walked in, you're there with friends, someone sees you, you're pulled over, and I want to say, like, up front, that I'm not fighting the fact we have friends. Because as the Hubs always
Good
says,
to
we
know.
should be grateful that people want to hang out with us.
Right.
But if you walk into somewhere on a, you know, and we've gone into places, we went to Uproar on Sunday for an hour, and you know, we just went to see who was there,
Right.
and we got chatting to a couple of people, but we didn't do anything that pulled someone away from the group. So what really is, and we have been, but I said what happened on Saturday, I've seen before where people come, you see you go there for a reason, someone sees you and they want, they don't have any boundaries and they don't understand.
No boundaries, no inhibitions, no social graces.
So what should be the social expectation if you are in a public place and someone does, and you do bump into someone, should you, is it rude to not engage with them at how they want? Were we rude, or should we be like, well, we're his social, we should expect this?
So I'm a little bit torn on this one, and listeners, I have gotten a few more details since the initial text. So what I would say for this is, George,
Yeah.
if you saw Hubs, essentially, you should have, done a polite little wave, hi, carried on with your conversation elsewhere. If you saw that Hubs is having a conversation with other people, or hi, what's going on? Hey, nice to meet everyone. Yada yada yada. And then you become a part of that conversation in a conversation group. But that means that you are having a conversation with the entire group. You're not having a one-on-one conversation with the Hubs, who has started having another conversation with the friends. Especially if the Hubs, or if anyone says, I'm having a conversation with Shelley, let them have that conversation with Shelley. They have established the expectation of them having a conversation with someone else that is not you. And even if you're like, it's because they're visiting, or just we're having a conversation with Shelley, respect that boundary.
Yeah, the thing is, when they came in, I knew that they were. I don't know. I saw them. I was like, they're going to try and pull us away. And I said, the Hubs hadn't seen Shelley for a couple of years, and it was a really lovely. Babe, we had a the conversation was hilarious. Like, her and her friend were. They were just good company, and it was like it was a bit political, but it was very political light. And actually, if you stood there for a couple of minutes, you would have picked up on it, ask a couple of questions. Oh, can I just? Oh, what's this? Sorry, what like that sort of thing. But and I was quite proud of Hubs for putting his foot down and saying no. Well, actually, they're here for like really just this weekend.
Yeah,
we're not really going to do that, and it is. It made me laugh when it happened because I was like, I've seen this done before,
right.
and I don't know when this drop everything expectation came. What's interesting was that when we walked in, it was just the two of us for a couple of minutes, and Hubs bumped notes saw a friend he played soccer with. The guy came over and had a chat with us, and then kind of politely said, "I'm just going to go back to my friends."
Yeah, I'm going to make a round.
Also, he clearly been lifting, so we were just it was nice to look at for a couple of minutes as
right,
well.
just admire the view.
But it was come over, have a quick chat, then kind of skedaddle off again. But it is really hard, and we just don't want to offend people. But I was sort of like, what is the way to get through this? Is there? But at the end of the day, I don't think there is. Aside from, hey, you can join in. Please join in the conversation. But conversations don't need explaining. I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
It's like you stand there. Hey, this is George. This is Shelley. Everyone, we're just chatting about so and so. So you just say we're chatting about this. Listen and learn. But I was like, no, we're not.
To me, that's someone who is seeking attention from a certain individual.
Yeah, and
that is very much what's going on. But also, I'm going to say this: the bars here in DC are not the place for a conversation. They're not the place for a in-depth conversation by any means.
It wasn't really. This is the thing.
And I'm not saying it was in-depth, but I'm just saying I would have chosen a different setting to try to pull someone else away and be like, could we have a conversation?
But it's like, I also don't. I'm useless at conversation when it's about me, which I know people here probably would be like,
wow,
oh my God, you don't like talking about yourself. I don't go, and we've said this though, we lived our week. We don't need to talk about a week again. He's like, how was your week? It was fine. And
I lived it.
I'm putting it to the back of my mind, quite frankly, but let's discuss a movie. But no, I just thought that was something that happened. I was like, bit of bar etiquette there, maybe.
Yeah, just a little bit. But also, I mean, have a little bit of grace if they're coming in drunk. So,
With that, Daniel, should we move to the end of the episode?
We should move to the end of the episode.
Do you have gagged and goots?
No, that's Sears Place.
Well, my gagged and goot comes from Reels of Cinema, which is the podcast run by Frank, who's his new one. Oh, by the way, he wants us to come and do a Downton Abbey episode.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And he did a Tom Hanks double bill. And it was themed around Tom Hanks and his dislike for space. That came out in the year 1995. What two films showed Tom Hanks' dislike for space?
Apollo 13.
Yeah. What's the other one?
Was it Forrest Gump? No.
That was the year before.
Ah.
Though in the original book, he did go to space.
Yeah.
Toy Story and Apollo 13 came out the same year, and his dislike for space. I never thought about that. Because he came off, that was his third major year, because he did Philadelphia, Forrest Gump, and then Apollo 13.
Huh.
And then obviously the film that's made him the most money probably is Toy Story.
Yeah.
Daniel, do you have a word of the week?
I do have a word of the week. The word of the week is resolute. It means to be firm.
Wonderful. And do you have a Petticoat Lane?
Petticoat Lane. No, not really. It would get me fired.
My Petticoat Lane is, why do people that always have opinions over stuff that comes on the internet, when you mention something to them, they're like, oh, explain that to me. It's like, no, bitch, you Google everything else, you can Google this.
It's true. You have a computer in your palm.
I put something up online, and it was like, about Disney. Why do you not like Disney? I'm like, well, because of the Jimmy Kimmel. What's that? I'm like, you read way too much online.
Oh my God.
You can Google that.
Was this someone in the friends group?
It's actually not.
Okay.
But that's where we shall leave it. With that, Daniel, do you think we cover everything?
My dear, we have barely set the agenda.
Cheers.
Cheers.
This has been a Bearded Bitch production recorded in a Diane Keating podcast studio in Haberdashery.
You've been listening to The Bitches with Beards. I've been Daniel.
And I'm Max. A big thanks to you all for tuning in and giving us a listen. Don't forget to rate, subscribe and review the following on Twitter, X and TikTok, where you can find us at Bitches with Beards.
Please remember that only a mother could love our views and opinions, and they reflect us and no one else.
We'll hear you next week unless we're cancelled. Cheers.